Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, the 29th, and we are in Unit 5, Week 5. So today Zoom was down, so we sent out a Google Meet link, but I wasn't able to share the screens, and I know Ms. Dominguez had a little bit of a hard time with speaking because some of the audio was not muted from other students. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over all of today's lessons with you guys right now, and then I'll be posting it on YouTube later so that you guys can watch that. I'm hoping that Zoom is back up tomorrow so that we can, continue to do our normal routine as usual. So first, we are going to look at our schedule. Right now, we have for Wednesday, we have setting the rules, and then as I mentioned yesterday, the selection test is going to also be setting the rules. So you guys are going to be reading setting the rules and then be doing your CRC workbook pages 161 and 162. Now, for your CRC workbook pages, you guys can do it either on Connect Ed or you guys can do it in your workbook. And your workbooks were all sent home with you guys. So you're going to go click on your blue book, and then you guys are going to click on Read. And then if you look right here, yesterday's story was visiting the past. Today we're doing setting the rules. So you'll read the story, setting the rules, who came with the rules of our countries. You'll be learning about the Constitution today. Oh, and then that's it. So American symbols will be for tomorrow. After you've read those 2 pages, so it's a very short, like 2 sides of the book, you are going to be doing your CRC pages. Now, here are your CRC pages. So you are going to do 161. Why does the author start the selection by talking to you? And then you are doing 162. So that's all you're doing for today. So here is going to be those answers for today. So these are just some possible answers. You can say what you think about a new law. You are free to believe what you want. And then it makes the text more personal, and helps me understand why the Constitution is important. And then for page 162, for the main text, the Constitution is the highest law in the United States. And then that's in the section Constitution is a symbol. And then the main text explains the rules and tells how the government works, and it stands for freedom and liberty. The author includes this section to give additional information such as what the Constitution stands for, okay? Actually, I don't know if I just shared that page with you guys, so let me go ahead and try that one more time. Share. Okay, I think I'm doing it now. Okay, so again, here are your answers. You guys can pause. So let me go back to 161. You guys can pause and look at these answers. And then same with 162. Okay, so if you guys need to pause at any time, please do so. Let me go back and share our Chrome link. So that was going to be for your reading and your CRC today. The next thing you guys are going to be doing is your math. So let's quickly go over that math lesson for today. You guys are going to be doing 16-7. So remember, you guys are going to be going to Whitman, click on Students, Pearson Math Students Sign On. You guys can also bookmark this as well. Browse, scroll down to 16, and then 7. And then there's going to be no math homework or lesson on Friday. So tomorrow will be the last one, and then we'll be reviewing next week and then testing next week.
tally chart shows the favorite ball games of Ms. Green's class. How many children like soccer the most? 8 children like soccer the most. How many children like tennis the most? 4 children like tennis the most. How many children like baseball the most? 2 children like baseball the most. You can make a pictograph to show the data in a tally chart. The title and labels are the same as the tally chart. What needs to be added to complete the pictograph? Symbols that represent the data in the tally chart need to be added. What symbol should represent the data? The symbol will be used to represent the data. Each represents one child. What other symbol could you use to represent the data? You could use a round ball as a symbol. Draw the symbols to show the data. Look at the first row of the graph. How many children chose baseball as their favorite sport? 2 children chose baseball as their favorite sport. Look at the second row of the graph. How many children chose soccer as their favorite sport? 8 children chose soccer. Now look at the last row. How many children chose tennis? 4 children chose tennis. Are the answers the same as for the tally chart? Explain. Yes, the answers are the same. So the data in the pictograph and the tally chart are the same. Now you know how to make a pictograph using symbols to show data.
And then again, you guys are going to be looking at all the different activities that you guys have for today. I'm not going to be showing them just for the sake of time, and it looks like Pearson isn't working too well either for me. So just remember, you have your reteaching, you have your practice pages, you've got some of those games, those Common Core review, as well as your digital quick check that you guys will be needing to do. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about that, or you're not able to log in, just let me know and I will help you guys as much as I can. Okay, all right, let us continue on. So the next thing you guys have is your reading for 20 minutes. You have PE for 20 minutes. And then we're gonna go over your science lesson. So what you'll be going to is back to Connect Ed, logging back in. And then again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube right now, then there's nothing more you guys need to do. You do not need to be going into Inspire Science. You do not need to be doing any of the lessons since I'm doing it for you guys. And then today, again, you guys are going to be going to Plants and Landscapes, and we're doing the Elaborate today. Go to the nails, click on lesson 2. Okay, so page 40 for us, so Elaborate. So the first thing we are doing is looking at STEM careers, and we are looking at a beekeeper. What does a beekeeper do? Beekeepers take care of large groups, okay, of bees. Beekeepers wear a special hat and gloves to help keep them safe from bee stings. They take care of large groups of bees. Bees live in colonies. Each colony can have more than 100,000 bees. Beekeepers take care of bees by providing beehives. The bees leave their hives to go out and pollinate flowers. They also collect pollen to bring back to the hive. Then they can make honey. Do you enjoy caring for insects and spending time outdoors? You could be a beekeeper too. You could read books to learn how to become a beekeeper. You can also take a class in your community. So there is a your turn. See what it's like to be a bee. Complete the insect pollination activity. So that's what we're going to be looking at next. So that's going to be this inquiry activity. So it says, insect pollination. You have learned how animals pollinate flowers. Make a model flower. Pretend your fingers are bees. Investigate how pollination works as you touch model flowers. So you guys do not need to do this, but these are all things that you guys could potentially have at home. What will happen to pollen on your hand after touching one model flower and then another? Okay, so you could say that maybe the pollen will fall off and pollinate the new flower. So it even, and then next one, build a model of a colorful flower. Pretend your fingers are bees. Reach into the paper flower bag and feed on the flower as a bee would. When you have finished feeding, move to a classmate's flower. Feed on as many classmates' flowers as time will allow. So this could be different people in your family. Wash your hands as you're done, and then draw a picture. Drawings could include the parts of a flower and white or colored dots of pollen all over that flower. What did the powdered sugar represent in this investigation? And then why does a flower need to be pollinated? You could say a flower needs to be pollinated so it can make new seeds for a new plant. And then that first question was, the powdered sugar represented the pollen. And then the last question, did your observations support your prediction? Yes, the pollen fell off of my hand and onto another flower. And then I believe that's it. How are a beekeeper and a greenhouse manager the same, and how are they different? You guys can talk about that. And then explore the farm to learn how bees use pollination to help produce honey. So you guys can click on number 1. Honeybees can find their way back to the hive from up to 3 miles away. Many beekeepers place their gives near fields with lots of flowers. Bees pollinate nearby flowers while collecting nectar and pollen for the hive. And then we can go to 2. Bees return to the hive with stored nectar and pollen that provide food for the hive. Beekeepers check on their hives regularly to keep them healthy. They inspect the hives to make sure no other bugs or animals have gotten in and that the bees have enough space for the new honey production. The beekeepers remove the honeycombs to produce honey to sell or to eat. The combs must be scraped to produce liquid honey that can be bottled to sell. A group of beehives can produce 50 to 250 pounds of honey a year, which is a lot. So that is all about bee pollination and insect pollination that you guys learned about today. The next thing you guys have is going to be your writing. So I'm going to take you guys to Google Classroom. And remember, there are 2 different writing activities in Google Classroom, and you guys can also create your own by opening up the Google Docs. I have the 2020 COVID-19 time capsule you guys can do, and you guys also have your selfie writing. So you guys can do either of those things up until the end of the year. And then you guys can also be doing your normal journal writing. For the 5 things, you guys have your practice spelling and your practice vocabulary test as normal. And then in Connect Ed, you guys are going to be doing your grammar game, your mechanics game, and your words to know. Now, really quickly, yesterday I had a couple students who are asking about the grammar and mechanics for this week. So I'm going to show you guys that. If you have any other questions, let me know. You guys can message your teacher. So game, the words to know is actually this box here. That's going to be words to know. And then games, I think I need to share the screen. Let's see if this will work. Hold up. Okay, let's go to I think the grammar activity was pretty easy for you guys. So let me go to the mechanics. Perfect. So it says, you're going to underline the book titles, then paint any letters in the book titles that should be capitalized. So I'm going to do it one at a time. The book Class Rules is about order in a school. I like to read How to Keep Order. Harry is reading Why We Need Rules. A Day Without Rules is a really fun book. So that is going to be the book titles. You always underline book titles. Now we need to paint the letters that should be capitalized. So painting is going to be the paintbrush. Some of you guys were using the highlighting, which won't work. So rules is going to be capitalized. Keep order is going to be capitalized. To is not an important word. You're only highlighting important words, maybe specific vocabulary terms that will be important. Like, I think we is capitalized. Oops, not E. How do I erase? Just like that. And then a day without rules. So let's check.
Not quite.
Okay, so
Keep trying.
it looks like we do not need to capitalize the we. So I'm gonna go back now and erase the W in we. Oh, maybe I have to retry. I'm having a little bit of trouble of erasing right now. How do I undo? Okay, well, let's go to the next one. My friend, it's okay if it's wrong as well. It's just try to do your best as possible. Rules for everyone, where rules started, backward school. Okay, now let's go ahead and where rules is capitalized. Uh-oh, erase. And then Allie's long day. Check.
That's not it. Try again.
Incorrect.
Okay, my teacher read us where rules started, underline, long. Oh, that's interesting why it does that. Okay, so that's how I fixed it. Hopefully this helps you guys understand how to do your grammar mechanics better. Let me know if you guys have any questions.